woman actually asked her was, can we order more impression material to accommodate for the upcoming schedule? The word "we" had implied that many people could possibly order this much needed impression material. And you're like, who exactly is we? Who's doing it? Who's we? And so what happened is that this lack of specificity in the question became an open door for each of them to think that the other person would be the one to order that impression material. I think, to me, this is it.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Mid-Door Podcast. I'm Dr. Laura Schwent.
And I'm Dr. Karen Tyndall.
And today we are very excited to bring to you Samantha Jones, who began her dental career at the age of 16. Her passion for communication and relationship building blossomed with both patients and her coworkers. Sam became a dental practice manager in her 20s and developed administrative strategies to grow the practice and the people in it.
Sam co-founded Compass Dental Practice Solutions, offering dental professionals the same support, knowledge, and strategies that founded her success. She uses her extensive management experience to develop the administrative and clinical systems and solutions used in hundreds of practices across the country. She understands the daily challenges dental teams face today.
She's an influencer and leader in intentional communication. I need some intentional communication there. Practice financials and metrics, scheduling, systems and protocols, practice operations, treatment presentation, and team development. She is also the CEO and founder of WOW Readiness Program, a career readiness program that provides resources and job placement for underserved women. She is an expert advisor with Accelerate Dental and a member of the Dental Speaker Institute, Dental Speakers Bureau, and Dental Entrepreneurial Women's Network. We can't wait to welcome Sam Jones to the podcast today. Well, welcome to the podcast, Sam. It's super exciting to have you, and we can't wait to get into this conversation with you. Thanks so much for joining us today.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure to see your happy, smiley face. And we like to start off on a happy note as well. And we are going to play our rapid fire question round with you. It's basically like a this or that. And we want you to make a choice on each of the things that Laura and I are not literally going to throw your way, but they're heading towards you. So we're going to start off. Okay. Do you hair dry or air dry your hair?
Air dry.
Nice. Heels or tennies?
Good.
I know, that's really nice.
Yeah.
I can't put too much heat on it. I got to put the curls in, so air dry is the way to go.
Okay. Heels or tennies?
Tennies.
Is it yoga pants or jeans?
Oh, it's yoga pants all day.
Yes. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm an early bird, for sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to choose mountains or ocean?
Can I say both? Can I say mountains with an ocean?
Yes.
You just come to Oregon, that you'll get that.
Exactly. Yeah. There it is, Oregon.
There you go. Awesome. Breakfast or no breakfast?
No breakfast.
Fast or slow driving?
Fast. Yeah, fast.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's a whole story behind that. So maybe for another conversation for another day, but I'm a fast driver.
How many tickets?
I actually don't have any. I'm a smart fast driver.
I love it. All right. Eating in or eating out?
Eating in. I love to cook.
Oh.
Would you want to go to the movies or watch Netflix?
Watch Netflix.
Do you like reading on a book or a Kindle?
I like reading in a book. I mess my books up. Yeah.
Would you choose cat or dog?
Oh, dog. I have a puppy and I love her. So dog. I'm a dog mama.
Nice. Burger or salad?
Probably salad. A really, really loaded salad.
And do you prefer Saturday or Sunday?
I like Saturday because I still have Sunday. Yeah.
Good reasoning.
I agree. I'm right there with you. It's always nice to have that extra day to look forward to. So
It is. Yeah. So it's like Saturday, I don't have the inhibitions of the responsibility for the next day. So it's like Saturday. Yeah.
yeah. So, well, and it sounds like your weekends, you are very busy. You have a lot going on with family. And so you probably have to be very intentional about how you spend your time,
Yes, I do.
which leads me to the fact that you are very passionate about intentional communication.
I am.
And yeah, so tell us a little bit about what that is and why we should be using it in the dental workplace.
Okay. Um, so to illustrate best for you guys what how I would describe intentional communication, I think it's important to tell you a little story. So um I several years ago, I had an intentional communications epiphany while I was at work. I was walking down the hall and I heard two people having a heated conversation about some impression material. They were looking for some impression material that they needed for the patient that was sitting in the chair. Like right at that moment, the patient was sitting in the chair and they were looking all over, scurrying all over, and they were clearly frustrated with each other. And honestly, I was worried that the patient was going to hear them talking because with each word, they were getting louder and louder and louder. So I decided to intervene. I stepped in and said, "Ladies, what's going on? How can I help?" I said, "We need to lower our voices because the intense energy is likely being felt and heard by our patients." These were two really amazing women. So this intervention disarmed them enough to take a breath and then unravel with me the circumstances that had led to this point. So here's what they told me. They said, "Sam, last week I told her that we needed to order more of this material because of the way the current schedule looked. And I knew from the types of appointments coming up that we were going to need more. And I told her that." And before I could even acknowledge what she had just said, the other woman met her right where she was at. And she said, "Yeah. And you said you were going to be the one to do that for us." So they were just like after each other. And as they argued for the next couple of seconds with the like, "Nuh-uh, yaha" method, I asked them if it was possible that maybe, just maybe, they didn't understand what the other actually said or how the other responded. So they played along with me and we actually replayed the whole conversation that had taken place. And we dissected what was actually said and what was actually heard. And here's what we discovered. There was one word in that conversation that left the woman that was listening with a choice. She had to interpret what was being said, or she needed in that moment to get clarity so that she didn't have to assume what was being said. And she didn't ask questions, and she ended up making the wrong choice about what was actually meant. So her interpretation was wrong. Both of them were communicating unintentionally. And honestly, I know you guys can relate to this. This happens all the time with people, with humans. We discovered that what the woman actually asked her was, "Can we order more impression material to accommodate for the upcoming schedule?" The word "we" had implied that many people could possibly order this much needed impression material. And like, who exactly is we? Who's doing it? Who's we? And so what happened is that this lack of specificity in the question became an open door for each of them to think that the other person would be the one to order that impression material. I think to me, this is an example related to the dental world of unintentional communication that I truly believe is solved with intentional communication, meaning we slow down, we use specific words to pull the meaning of what's in our mind's eye to the person receiving our message. Intentional communication is what mama taught us, right? Think before you speak. It's really just that. We've got to give thoughts to our words before they leave our lips. We have to help people truly understand what we mean by what we're saying. So I think that sums it up as best I can. That we just spend a lot of time going fast, particularly with our communication, that we forget that we completely understand what we mean when we're talking to people and what we're saying to them. But oftentimes people will interpret or make assumptions about what they think we mean if we're not being really specific. So intentional communication is just that, being intention with the words that we're using as we're trying to help people understand what we really mean.
Mm. That's such a great story. And I can see that happening in so many different ways and in so many different areas of life that it's interesting that we take communication so lightly.
We do.
Mhm.
We really do. I think that's why I'm so passionate about this. I mean, I think, honestly, guys, I think it takes a lot of intention and awareness to slow down and think about, did that make sense? What I just said, did that actually make sense? Like, are they going to get what I really mean when I say that? And on a big scale, I really believe that intentional communication can solve conflict, confusion, error, and quite frankly, some of the deeply rooted issues in our societies. I believe that words build worlds. And if we want to go deep and get all philosophical on everybody today, I am passionate because I believe that intentional communication is the key to peaceful human interactions and understanding.
Mm.
So for people who like this idea, they're listening now and it's like striking a chord and they're super interested in learning more, you have a free intentional communication checklist.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about what that is and how our audience can access that information, because it sounds so good.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, I do. I have this intentional communications checklist. It's really a document of awareness. It's a checklist that will help you take the pulse on some of the things that you can do or implement in your practice that will create habits and spaces to intentionally communicate with your team. If you want to check it out, we would love to share that with you. You can actually access it on our website. We've got a little pop-up button. It takes about 10 seconds for it to pop up. You can click on it, sign up, get it. But for your listeners today, we'd like to give them a couple of extra things. So if you guys want to email us at info@compassdps and put communication in the subject line, we'll not only send the checklist, but we'll send a few other goodies about the topic itself. We've done a lot of work in the area of communication because, my background or my business supports teams through some of the more like logistical things, systems and processes and all of that. But we believe that this is where we start. Like, if we can't communicate on high levels with intention and awareness, then all the other things that we're going to work on and all the other things that we're going to try to accomplish will fall on deaf ears, no pun intended. So we have a lot of resources that relate directly to communication and how we bring intention and awareness to that. So we'll send you guys some stuff, some goodies.
That's super kind of you. Thank you for that. And we'll make sure that the details to email and to put the communication in the subject line, we'll make sure that those details are down below in the notes, so that if anyone is listening and driving right now and there are words that they can't remember.
That's all right. Be safe.
Yeah, that's right. Be safe. You can drive fast if you drive smart.
Smart and fast.
Do you find that when you're listening to something like a podcast and somebody shares an information or there's a quote that you really like, and I try and memorize it as I'm driving.
I know,
I'm
me
like,
too.
you have to remember it, you have to remember it, you have to remember it. And I'm like, I say it however many times. And then I'm driving, I'm thinking about driving. And then like a minute later, I'm like, oh my gosh.
What was that quote again?
I've lost it. I tried so hard.
Me too. It's funny that actually it's interesting that you say that in this whole topic of everything, because that actually, like, intentional communication, a big part of that is listening. And we're so busy brained up here that everything that we are listening to and that we are hearing and the things that are flooding into us all the time, we've become really paralyzed in that space of communication because we're trying to remember too many things. So even a simple quote, it's like, I can't retain it because I'm thinking about what kind of crock pot meal I'm going to make tonight and all the other things that are going on. And so it's funny that you say that because it relates directly to our ability to just retain what we hear.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the multitasking, I suppose, too, is not so good for us. But so if you have a dental office and they get good at intentional communication as a foundation, what other two areas do you work with dental offices with to bring more positivity to day and long term?
That's a great question. So, aside from prioritizing intentional communication, I deeply believe that planning and efficiency can keep everyone in a positive mindset and workflow. A lot of the practices that I talk to get really overwhelmed and unhappy when communication is poor. There's no room to plan or prepare for the needs of the business, and things are running inefficiently. So when I get to talk to teams or work with teams, we look at those are three things. I totally cheated. You asked me for two, but those are they go together. You can't separate those three. I think that those are the three areas that that help us to begin the process of problem solving or leveling up. That's where it's at. It's where it's at. We have to enhance communication, planning, and efficiency, and I try to really focus there because I think everything else becomes a little bit easier, right? We're all pretty smart in dental practices, and we all have great ideas. I am so impressed by dental practice leaders and owners and their teams. They're so smart. They have all the answers. Where they struggle is in that space of calibration, and they need the space to do it. They have to have the time to plan for it. And we really have to pay attention to how we are inefficiently managing our days and what things are tripping us up and creating that chaos, and that really impacts the workplace bliss a lot.
Well, I suppose it's empowering too to have the freedom to be more creative with your days instead of reactive.
100%. 100%. Everybody feels a part of that. Like if teams take time away from the day-to-day patient care to connect and calibrate and discuss some of those things, amazing things really do happen. And it does impact the feeling or the vibe of the environment that they work in every day, which is so important. I mean, we're here. This is our one life. Like, let's try to figure out ways to make all of these things that we get to do, like go to work every day, be awesome and happy and efficient. And, all the byproducts of all of that is, the stuff that, a lot of people do like to focus on, which is profitability and all of that. And that stuff's important too. We run businesses for that reason too, and that's okay. But we can actually have our cake and eat it too, I believe. And I like cake.
I do too.
Who doesn't?
Right.
I actually like frosting.
I am a frosting fan as well.
I like a little bit of frosting.
Are you a little frosting? A lot of cake?
Yeah, I don't want it. Maybe that's an English thing versus an American thing, but I find Americans have as much frosting on the cupcake as they would have the cake itself. It's not more. I probably like 2/3 cake. Really good for me.
Yes.
You used some words there when you were describing like awesome, happy, efficient of ways that you would want, practices and people to be when they're at work. Now, your company, Compass Dental Practice Solutions, supports dental teams in a variety of different ways. Could you perhaps highlight some of those to us and then tell us, because there's something pretty special coming up in January, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Maybe
I'm so
share
excited
that.
about it. Okay, cool. Thank you for letting me talk about that. So we have really tried at Compass, we have really tried to meet people where they are at by having several different things available to help them move forward, solve problems, and do so while prioritizing workplace bliss and communication. That's really at the forefront of everything we do. So first and most popular is our membership program. My 6-time Emmy award-winning business partner, John Miller, shout out John Miller. He and I have spent 4 amazing years creating this massive video library that is full of videos and ideas and systems and resources, downloadable resources, scripts, templates, training tools, all kinds of things. We've bundled that with monthly webinars, group coaching calls, and discounts on our live events in a membership format. It's an awesome entry level to coaching with really, really great stuff that's available to our clients. Additionally, we do have exclusive one-to-one coaching that we offer. So if you're really needing some extra love and attention in your practice, we have the most amazing coaching team that has extensive industry experience and takes amazing care of our Compass clients. These are really amazing rock stars. They just so happen to be queens. They're all women and they are just fantastic humans. We have a hiring vertical where our hiring team will pair you with rock stars and give you tools to onboard them and retain them. We also have a podcast, Compass Points Podcast, where we talk about a variety of industry-related topics. And lastly, I'm really honored and fortunate enough to speak in some awesome spaces throughout the year. My favorite place to speak is our very own events and retreats and workshops that we like to make really fun. We like to add little spins to them so that they don't just feel like your normal everyday CE. So in January, our next live CE event will be held oceanside in beautiful Dunedin, Florida on January the 13th. We have a venue that sports these panoramic views of the Gulf of Mexico. It's so pretty. And in this one-day retreat, we're going to be diving into the topic of intentional communication. We'll also be teaching a method to help managers, owners, and team members take their ideas. And it's a 10-step implementation plan. So we help them take everything that they talk about and with their intentional communication and put it into action. Because oftentimes we get really stuck there. Like we have these great ideas and then it's like, that's it, it's an idea. And it never happens directly into the practice. At that workshop, we're going to introduce one of Compass's original meeting strategies called the Internal Study Club. And we're going to do all of this while solving a murder mystery. That's right. Yeah, we found an award-winning script writer in the UK who develops customized team building murder mystery events. And we're going to be infusing that fun throughout the day to see who killed Del to Dental. So personally, I'm thinking it was Gingivitis personally who killed Del to Dental, but you're just going to have to come and join us and find out for yourself and help us solve that mystery.
That's so fun.
This sounds like a blast. I can't even, like, the best CE ever.
I hope so. We're working real hard to make it really engaging and really fun. One of my favorite games of all time is Clue. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that game, and if you haven't seen the movie Clue, it's like a classic from I don't know, the 80s. I love that movie so much.
Yes.
And so I think subconsciously my whole life I've been trying to figure out a way to have some fun with it myself. So we're gonna use some pun names and we're gonna solve the mystery of Del to Dental's death.
I love murder mystery things.
I know.
Even at age 6, 7, I think we were 17 when me and my friends did our first one, and we've done a few, and they're so good. So
they're so fun. It's
events.
So fun. Yeah. It's good to bring teams together like that, to have a little fun,
yes.
Loosen up, learn a few things, get a little CE, and just, come together. That's what we're all about.
It's for the team, right? It's a team
for
event.
The team.
Everyone's welcome. And it's a one day, so they can come do your CE and then stay and play a little bit. And
yes, and it's a beautiful place to stay and play. We've put together a little fun package. So if you need ideas of what to do, we're going to help you figure out what great things are in and around this cute little beach town in Florida. So
I had an amazing meal in Dunedin in March this year.
Where?
Really
do you
good.
Remember?
It was I'll find the name of it. It was a little seafood shack. It looked like a shack.
Yeah, those are always the best, right?
The drinks were great and the food. I love fish tacos when I go away, and it was really good. So.
Yeah, the place that we're doing this event at is so I'm actually like a little concerned because truly the room itself has these panoramic windows and you can see the ocean. I'm like, is anybody going to be paying attention? They might all just be like staring off and dreaming about sailing away, and that's okay too. If that's what you need, then come get your soul fed with that. But we hope to bring some magic too.
I think they'll be staring out the windows and thinking about the murder mystery. And so they'll be like,
Was it gingivitis or Phil McCavity? Who is it?
I want to come just to hear all the names.
I know. It's so fun. When the scriptwriter sent it back to us, we were just like, oh my gosh, she gave us a list of probably 35 pun names to use. And it was hard to decide. We wanted to have like several, suspects because of all the fun pun names. So
yeah,
it's good stuff.
Well, I just like to say thank you for, bringing all these important topics in a fun way, and lots of different varieties. So you guys have so much variety of how dentists, dental teams can access your magic.
Thank you.
So I just like to say thank you for the variety. And speaking of variety, leads me to my next question. So when Karen and I first started dreaming about what the Mint door was going to be, the very first thing we had to decide was what was the color of our door. And there was some very good intention that went into planning the color of our door. So I'm curious, if you got to build your brand new house, what color door would you pick?
That is a great question. And I think I would probably pick purple. I know it probably would look awful, but I think the color purple is it's beautiful, it's deep. It's I imagine purple as like this hue that reminds us of the brightness that life is and can be. And it's got a feminine energy about it that I can appreciate as a woman in this world who wears many hats and does many things. And so purple is the first thing that came to my mind. I wasn't prepared for that question. So purple it is.
Excellent. I can't wait to come to your house and see your door.
My purple door.
Purple is historically a very regal color. And you mentioned your team who were queens earlier on. So we'll reflect back that you are also a queen, and that is why you choose purple.
That's right.
Thank you. I'm surrounded by queens right now.
So that's a good color.
So
looking back at everything that's happened to you over your life, is there something that happened that you didn't expect?
No.
And how did that change life for you?
Yeah, there's been a lot of things that have happened in my life that I didn't expect. And, I guess I'll speak to maybe one of the biggest moments, which is when I was, a mom. I did not, that was a surprise. And becoming a mom for the first time changed everything for me. It changed the trajectory of my career and virtually everything. I sort of had to redefine where I was going and what I was doing. And I've learned over the years to, when something unexpected happens, we have to let go of whatever it is that we thought should be happening in those moments. And when we do that, we invite in whatever it is that the universe was planning all along. And so for me, becoming a mother has been one of the greatest gifts I've ever received. And it was quite unexpected. And I'm grateful for it. I wouldn't change anything. And unexpected things are invited into my life at this point in time, because I know that it's supposed to happen anyway. And I will adapt and keep on trudging, keep on going.
That's so nice.
That's beautiful. I love let go to invite in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Really good advice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sometimes really hard to do, but
It is. Yeah. Especially, and this leads me a little bit to my next question. As high achievers, we get so goal oriented.
mhm.
We put that goal out there and then we sometimes get blinders on and we're not even seeing the other paths. And so you're right. Sometimes letting go to see what other direction or.
Yeah. It's hard to do. I'm a planner. I plan
Mhm.
everything. I mean, if you ask anybody that's really close to me in my inner circle, it's a blessing, but it's also a curse sometimes. And that whole concept of letting go and inviting in has been a life's work, and will continue to be that for me, because it's hard to do at times. But every time I do it, great, beautiful things are waiting on the other side of that. So let go and invite it in.
Yeah, nice. Love it. So as a goal-oriented planner, high-achieving woman, sometimes we get so focused on what we're doing that we forget about the joy in life. So I'm curious, what is one small thing that brings you joy?
I am so joyful every time I step out into nature.
Mm.
It to me, nature is it's where I can recenter. It just makes me happy. The way things smell and the way things look and sound, it's just it's almost overwhelming at times. And so I think I find my greatest moments of joy when I am in nature. I mean, obviously, my family is such a, I mean, that's my whole center. But from a personal level, just as a woman, just seeking self care and that sort of thing, my joy is when I get outside and I go explore. I call it dirt church.
It's awesome. I
Mhm.
love that
Yeah.
term. Dirt
Yeah.
church.
Oh, that's right. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
It's where I'm with God. Personally, like, that's where I am, just so I can just the creative juices can flow. It's
Mhm.
where it's at for me.
Mhm. Awesome. So when's the next time you get to get outside?
Well, I was outside already today.
Awesome.
In fact, you guys I actually got a shower and everything before this, but I took a big long walk this morning, and I live in a place where there's trails all around me. So I did a big long trail walk this morning.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yay. So you're
hmm
rejuvenated. I love
I
it.
am. I'm feeling good. It's good stuff.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Well, this has been super fun. And I'd just like to double check where people can find more out about you, about your company, about the upcoming CE in January. Can you just go through that one more time? I'll make sure they're in the show
Absolutely.
notes, but just let's make sure and put that out there.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. You can find all of it on our website, which is compassdps.com.
Mhm.
On there, you'll find all of our team's emails and all that good stuff. But you can also email me. My email is Samantha at compassdps.com. I love to talk to people. So, and you can shoot me an email and I'll get on the phone with you or a Zoom anytime. And then to receive our goodies, if you shoot an email to info at compassdps.com, we'll make sure put communication in the subject line. We'll make sure you get that. And then our podcast is on all of the podcasty channels. We've got it's on Apple and Spotify, YouTube, all of those good places. So check us out too. And yeah, thank you guys so much.
Wow.
I love the work that you guys do, and I love the synergy in just the foundational pieces of our messaging that really resonates. And I am grateful for the love that you're pouring into our industry and to women and all of that. So you guys are definitely queens.
Oh,
Wow.
thank you.
Oh, we get to be queens too.
Oh
Thank
yeah.
you.
I see your crowns.
Yes.
I wish I had one just here.
I
I know,
know.
me
It's too
too.
bad
Wouldn't that
we
be
won't be
great?
able to put one on.
I know.
Darn,
Next
next
time.
time.
Next time.
Next time. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for shining your bright light in our world in all that you do. I imagine that not only in dental offices, but so many other places that you give your gifts to the world. So thank
Mhm.
you. for sharing some time with us today and letting our audience know about how they can improve their practices and also go to a great CE and solve a murder mystery. Like,
Yes.
let's go.
Let's do it. Let's make
go
it happen.
find out where Delta Dental is buried.
Let's find out. Let's find out. Come join us. We'll unveil.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
It's
thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
All right. We'll see you all next time on the next edition of The Mint Door. Bye.